everybody listening. Welcome back to the Battery Pack, listening to the Broken Battery Pop Culture Podcast, brought again this week to you via a backyard.
Yeah.
We're outside still. We never went inside since last week.
Yeah, we've been inside. We have not been inside since then. We've been staying outside. We're out here with the Brood X cicadas.
Brood X panhandling on the side of the road to get the battery pack, all the information and all the facts about our opinions.
That's right.
We want to thank everybody for joining us for another installment in Shared Universe Month.
Yep.
But
it's almost over.
It's almost over, folks. But I would like to introduce my most gracious host and co-host, the one, the only, Joseph.
Hey, Trav. Thanks once again. On a little somber note, I'd like to dedicate this podcast to a friend of mine that passed away on Monday, Nicholas Lloyd Tibbles, gone too soon. You will be missed. Love that guy. Not a negative bone in his body. And, as long as, you're never forgotten, you're never gone. So...
Really nice words, Joe. And I never personally met him. I've heard very good things. And the show would like to give a shout out to anybody grieving over this. You aren't alone. And good people in this world are few and far between. So we salute you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, but let's get this truck a-moving, folks.
Yeah, let's dissect this failed plan.
Yes, because we're not talking about the A plan of the shared universe. We're talking about the Triple Z plan. Right when the MCU hit big and their shared universe started taking off, I believe it was Universal tried to launch their own shared universe.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, Universal has the oldest shared universe out of any type of movie history or cinematic collection, and that is the Universal Movie Monsters. So they thought, in their infinite wisdom, we're going to bring back that concept with the Dark Universe.
I think that it was a really, really good idea. I think it just was not planned out very well.
No, they're just kind of like spaghetti on the wall, like we've mentioned before with certain other things. And,
see if it sticks.
And they decided to do the Dark Universe. Now, the Dark Universe has one movie because it bombed so bad.
Yes.
And it's funny because there's a parallel between this movie and Iron Man, which I will mention later on.
Okay. I'm very curious to it.
Bated breath, folks. But we're going to do Spotlight real fast.
What do we got for Spotlight, Trav?
Okay, so I'm going to spotlight a board game that I loved when I was a kid that they might be re-releasing.
Monopoly?
No, because I don't feel like playing it for 18 hours.
Okay.
I'm talking about Fireball Island.
Oh.
There's this giant, idol thing in the head, and it shoots marbles out of its mouth, and you got to go.
Oh, yeah.
There's, this big, ruby in the middle, and you're like, oh, this is so cool.
You got to get it.
Yeah, you got to get it.
I mean, just in time for Legends of the Ancient Temple to be, re-released by CW.
Yeah, exactly, Legends of the Ancient Temple. Well, I'm sorry, we got to have people, it's kind of like the American Gladiators.
There's maybe Double Dare with Mark Summers. But drunken edition.
Wasn't he a germaphobe too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, him and Howie Mandel.
Yeah,
You're just like, oh, my God, this guy was on the messiest show on the planet, and he could not stand fucking any mess. Germs, anything like that. He had part of his show was people picking stuff out of people's noses. It was great.
This is a fact, and also, I always imagined Mark Summers from Double Dare, standing like that one dude from, what was it, the Da Vinci Code, with that strap, hitting himself in the back with it because he's on fucking Double Dare.
It seems pretty funny. I didn't see that movie.
There's nothing funny about the Da Vinci Code. I just like to do. I'm the guy that laughed at Titanic when the dude fell off of the boat and he hit the guardrail and it went ding.
Yeah, well,
I laughed at that, but hey, whatever.
All right.
But anyway, Spotlight, Fireball Island. When it comes out, play that board game. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sounds like it'll be fun.
Right. So we're going to talk about the Dark Universe, specifically this one movie called The Mummy, which isn't The Good Mummy starring Brendan Fraser.
No. And
No.
they should really do a legacy film of that.
I agree.
Brendan Fraser.
I mean, he looks like he's like aged that many years since then.
Well, I'm just gonna say this. Like recently, he has seen a surge in popularity because people are like, man,
He's a nice guy.
he's a really nice guy. He's just like us. I think in an interview, he was like got distracted, and he was playing Nintendo Switch during the interview, and they're like, hey. This guy's just like us.
He's playing Switch.
He has the attention span of a small sparrow.
No seconds.
Exactly.
But yeah, so the Mummy, and now the parallel I was going to speaking about. I'm not going to wait that long, but you know who they were going to cast for Iron Man before they cast Robert Downey Jr.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
I think it would have been a colossal failure.
It would have, but the Mummy, when they released this. Before I get to the other things that was wrong with this movie, because I don't think I've ever seen it all the way through because I always fall asleep.
I actually, in preparation for this, I actually tried to watch it, and then I was completely bored out of my head and I fell asleep.
It's
so
rough.
I can't, I really can't be a. I mean, it was so bad. I mean, I fell asleep during Wonder Woman. I saw the end of it. I've seen all the parts of it. It's good.
Yeah.
This movie, I don't feel like I missed anything.
Because you didn't. Your assessment is correct, sir.
All right.
So they cast Tom Cruise in this, and it's a modern day take on the Mummy. Okay, I think the Brendan Fraser Mummy worked better because it was set in like the 1920s and 30s, back in when the Egyptian boom was happening.
Like when they were doing archaeology stuff over there in Egypt.
Egypt land, the giant sandbox. Yes,
Egypt.
Which, I mean, every country in the world doesn't give a shit about Egypt, but it's like Americans have a romance with Egypt. I don't understand.
You know, King Tut, you know, gold toilets.
Gold toilets,
You know.
$50
Yeah, stuff
toilet
like that.
seats. So anyway, Tom Cruise stars as a mercenary in this, and he is involved with this conflict going on, and a ancient cursed temple gets unearthed.
Yeah, okay. So let's not play-by-play this movie because...
It's so bad.
It is really bad.
Okay, well, I just got to set the stage just a little bit.
Okay, all right, okay.
So it opens up. Okay, first off, they gender swap the Mummy.
Yes.
I don't know why they decided to do that, but
It would have been better off if the Mummy was running around yelling, coin, coin, like they did in Scooby-Doo,
Yes.
right? So it would have definitely been much better if it would have been that Mummy that was doing the whole thing. But there really there really wasn't too many bandages in this thing.
not a single, only a couple of bandages.
Right? She broke free from the bandages. And,
Yes.
and then dipshittery.
Dipshittery
Is that a
happened.
word?
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
if it's not, we coined it.
Yeah.
Patent pending.
Yes.
Coined it.
Yeah, we coined it.
And during all this, Tom Cruise's character becomes undead somehow.
Yeah, I think I fell asleep through that part.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You
What
didn't
did
miss
what did she do? Touch him or
It's something along those lines.
She kissed him.
Yes, yeah, because
I mean, it's not too far off from like what he actually really is.
yeah, undead. Oh, I know he hasn't aged at all.
I think he might be undead, as well as a Scientologist.
Just don't make eye contact with him.
That's right.
Next thing you know, you're a Scientologist and you're living in San Diego.
No, Clearwater, Florida.
To our friends in Clearwater, Florida,
Yeah.
we say hello.
Yeah, you know who you are.
So Tom Cruise becomes undead, and he gets the attention of everything going on with this mummy, who the plot of the movie is this mummy wants to bring her god onto Earth.
Who is it? Is it Ra?
Set.
Oh, it's Set.
Set,
Okay.
the god of evil in Egyptian mythology. I don't know if he's really evil, but I mean, he's just...
Okay, well,
You're so-
I'm channeling my inner Stargate SG-1
Oh,
when
okay.
it comes to
infinitely better thing about mummies.
yes,
Yeah. Ra was a dick in that show.
that's right.
That movie. Well, how did they coined that one? They coined it. They're like part Indiana Jones, part Star Wars, all adventure.
Yeah, and then it was like 12 seasons, 3 different shows.
Yeah, something about Atlantis because
Atlantis and Universe and whatever. It was good.
we could work a Stargate shared universe.
Oh man, I
episode
could go
into this.
on and off. I used to call it MacGyver in space, yo.
Look, they had MacGyver on the show.
I know.
So we're going to, at a future date, do one now because it just popped in my head. Maybe we should include this. But anyway, they get to the attention, and one of the best castings in this movie, you got to see Maximus himself from Gladiator, Russell Crowe, as Dr. Jekyll in this movie. And he works for this organization that catalogs all the supernatural creatures, kind of like what Monarch did in the Monsterverse.
Oh, okay.
And if people don't know who Dr. Jekyll is
he Mr. Hyde?
he does turn into Hyde in this movie.
Oh,
He does. I don't think he made it that long.
I didn't.
No. And they somehow captured the mummy in the movie, had her tied up, and one of the cool things this mummy could do, it could actually animate dead bodies around her.
Okay.
So I'm like, yeah, that's neat. That's cool. And they had some cool chase scenes, but the whole point of it is...
Would they have to embalm the bodies before they came back to life?
Well, it didn't seem like it, but almost everything she did raise looked like it got embalmed.
Okay.
So anyway, the whole point is this mummy wants to use Tom Cruise's vessel, his body, for set. And a bunch of stupid shit happens, and it ends up happening, but he's in an eternal struggle to keep set at bay at the very end. He did it on his own terms.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, that's the gist. I just saved everybody out there 2 boobless hours of sitting there watching this movie.
Like literally boobless hours.
Yeah, there's boobs, but they're mummy boobs.
Oh.
I'm talking about like as in you're a boob for watching it. I'm not talking about,
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like this concept that they had going would have been good if they like stayed true to the actual form of these monsters.
Yes, yeah, I like the old school Universal movie
Right.
monsters.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's just really realistically the Universal Dark Universe was doomed because they didn't actually have a zombie.
No.
And when this was slated to come out and start going, zombies were all the rage.
Huge.
Yeah,
Huge.
and I mean, and as we all know, everybody's kind of trickled out on the zombies.
Fatigue, you got to give it 10 years.
Yeah.
Give it 10 years, it'll be huge again.
Yeah, I mean, Walking Dead's coming to an end.
Yep.
I'm actually just in it right now just because I've come this far.
Why not see it through?
Yeah, maybe they might pull something out.
Absolutely. No, it's the cast. Like, they announced all these people that were going to be in the Dark Universe. Like, Johnny Depp was supposed to be the Invisible Man.
Which I feel was wasted because we weren't going to be able to see him.
No, I know, right?
And that's part of the that's part of the appeal of Johnny Depp is seeing Johnny Depp.
Yeah, he's a pretty man, right? So, yeah,
Would Amber Heard be seen beating him while he's invisible?
I think it would be equal attacking each other, honestly.
Okay. All right.
I mean, let's face it. Yeah, I know. I try to avoid that like the plague.
Canceled.
Canceled. I still got to develop that soundbite, Joe.
Yes.
They Javier Bardot, the guy from No Country for Old Men. He was supposed to be the Wolfman.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. That would have been a great.
It was great casting. Yeah. Then, like I said, they had Russell Crowe as Dr. Jekyll, and I don't remember who they had. They had set up for Dracula, but I mean,
you know what? In post production, you can put who it is.
Exactly.
Insert his picture right here.
Exactly. Gary Oldman could just show up from Bram Stoker and be like,
No. Bram Stoker's. It's Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Strokers. You got to say it in the correct German. So the Dark Universe, but like they had this blueprint for the Universal movie monsters. They had they Frankenstein, and I don't care. You know what? I hate it when people say, actually, it's called the Frankenstein's creature, or Frankenstein's the doctor. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Just if you call it Frankenstein, just acknowledge there's a Dr. Frankenstein too.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It was Frankenstein's monster.
Yes.
But why the fuck do they keep on saying Frankenstein, because you automatically, assume that Frankenstein is that, because Frankenstein sounds like a monster's name.
It does.
Yeah. I don't get it.
I don't either. And the thing is, they had this original layout. They even had crossover movies back in the day with the Universal movie monsters. They had Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. They actually fought each other.
Yeah.
People went fucking apeshit for that. House of Dracula.
Right.
Where they had all of them in it. And, I'm surprised because they've done remakes throughout the years of all these Universal movie monsters. And, every single one has been redone except for one.
All right, so which one of these movies hasn't been done?
The Creature from the Black Lagoon.
You mean a remake of it?
Like a remake. Nobody's done that one, and I think that would be... I'm not for remakes, usually. That one could be done very well.
Yeah, I think so.
If they use practical effects, though.
Today when I sent you that thing about that Chinese movie, the River Monster.
Yeah.
That is exactly what I was thinking about. Like, if they did something like that for the Creature of the Black Lagoon.
From Black Lagoon, yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be badass.
Fuck yeah, it would be. I mean, there's 3
It's
sequels.
called the River Monster. It came out in 2019. You can actually...
Watch the whole thing on YouTube.
You can search it, and you can watch the whole thing. The subtitles are really effed up. But it's actually a pretty decent movie.
Yeah, another really decent movie that's similar to that is called The Host, and it's a South Korean movie. It's about a mutated fish thing that comes out of the river over there that's just really nasty. Mm-hmm. Totally worth a watch.
Right.
Totally worth a watch.
Right, okay, but like I said, the one reminded me of Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Absolutely, yeah. See, so they had all these Universal movie monsters, and they had the shared universe, and I honestly thought back in, early 2000s they were going to start it up again, because a little movie came out from Universal starring Wolverine himself, Hugh Jackman.
Are we talking about Van Helsing?
Van Helsing, the movie where everybody swang from a rope.
Yes.
Everybody swang from a fucking rope.
I actually, I bought that on DVD.
Yes.
Deluxe edition. Which I still own, and it has all 4 of the Frankenstein, it has Dracula, it has the Mummy, and it has the Wolfman movie in it.
Funny because the Mummy never showed up in Van Helsing. That's an interesting thing.
Right, but they had all those movies included in the special
which
edition.
Is awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean that's why I bought it.
Oh yeah,
I actually didn't care
for Van Helsing. You just wanted all the old ones.
Yeah,
outstanding.
Yeah, I bought it. I bought it just to have those.
Oh, for sure.
Don't worry about those bugs, Travis.
It's okay. We don't have our occult circle to protect us today.
Yeah, no, we're running a little bit early tonight.
But no, see, Van Helsing, for what it was okay. But I mean, all right. Didn't it have the chick from Underworld in it? Yes, it did. Kate Beckinsale.
Yes.
Kate, I can't star in a movie that does not have a vampire in it, except for Serendipity.
I'm really sad that you know that she's in that movie.
Yeah.
We might need another host, people.
I'm cashing out. Take all my coins.
Yes.
So Van Helsing, I mean, we're not going to do a review about it, but if you haven't seen it, I mean, if you honestly don't care about what goes on in your life and you just want to destroy 2 hours of your time, sit down and watch it.
If Dracula would have been Adam Sandler playing the guy from Hotel Transylvania,
yeah, I would have enjoyed that much more.
It would have been much, much better.
He owns a B&B.
Yeah, I think it would have been a lot better.
Well, I mean, that whole Hotel Transylvania series is amazing. Everything's funny on there. I love good horror parody.
Yes, for sure.
Van Helsing, I mean, I think they were actually trying to set up a universe like that, but at the same time, I'm not sure because it seemed like a one-shot movie.
I just think that huge Jackman.
Huge Jackman?
Yes.
I'm going to find that image and put it on there.
Well, I mean, he was busy. He was doing Real Steel. He was doing, which he filmed in Detroit.
Yes.
I know that because him and my father became pretty close while they were filming that.
They're buddies.
Yes, he was his like driver, but not his driver. He was the guy that got him into the car.
So your dad was his fixer.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's like, I need a professional, and your dad shows up. And I love your dad. Your dad's awesome because he's got that look on his face like this. Like, I'm pretty sure if I never met him before, I'd be like, he's killed somebody. I mean, like, intentionally. We don't talk about Cincinnati. You have a box on it that says Cincinnati? Yeah, so Huge Jackman. It says Huge Jack Yakman.
Huge Jackman.
I'm sorry, some hot rod guy was driving by, totally caught my attention.
Yeah.
So
he was hot though, wasn't he, Trav?
Oh, I mean, yeah, he was so awesome. The revving of the engine.
Okay. Well, I mean, our problem that's against us is that we're on 7 Mile and not 8 Mile. If we were on 8 Mile, it would be infinitely cooler.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because people would be like, "Oh, you know Eminem?" Or like, "No, I mean the street's huge.
The street is giant." They got all kinds of street cred, folks. So they made Van Helsing in that movie into like a kick-ass superhero that might have been an angel because there was shit they dropped in there. And he fought all of the Universal movie monsters. Like he fought the werewolf. He fought Hyde.
Yep.
He fought Dracula, who looked like an emo Dracula. He literally looked like, the lead singer of Edema. Edema.
Yes, that was the Jonathan Davis from Korn's brother.
Yes. In fact, I was at a concert one time and somebody was screaming at him, "You're not Korn." I've never seen a singer stop what he was doing, flip that specific guy off, and go back to what he was doing.
Yeah, well, they really weren't good at what they did. So
no, I mean, yeah.
That's why Korn's still going and Edema has succumbed to Edema.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean the werewolf designs was good in Van Helsing. I thought all the werewolf stuff was good, and Dracula had his brides, but I mean
they were concubines.
Yes, but that was before like the concept of the shared universe came back.
Right. I think that they should have built off of that.
Yeah, or the Mummy, the original Mummy with Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, for sure.
Or they could have worked the Dark Universe from that original Mummy.
I actually thought that was what they were doing.
Right.
And then they just totally were like, fuck it. Let's do something that really sucks.
Again, we're going to reiterate, folks, we do not like this movie.
Well, I mean, it's not even the fact that I don't like the movie. I couldn't stay awake from it.
It's not entertaining.
And I didn't want to wake up and be like, I saw the credits and I was like, man, this is the best part. Like from what I saw, I was like, I really like the font they used on the credit.
Italica? Is it Italica?
Yeah. Helvetica.
Is it Helvetica or
Helvetica?
Helvetica or Times New Roman?
Yeah, 12. You have to do that double spaced. It's fine.
But talking about the shared universe, and like obviously Van Helsing was a one-off movie. It's kind of like saying, hey, Monster Squad, they were going to build something on. I'm like, no, they weren't going to build anything on Monster Squad.
That was a movie I could fucking get behind.
Yeah, I could get behind Monster Squad.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, Van Helsing didn't do jack shit besides he was in a whirlpool with Dracula and fighting him. And then, like, you had all the other...
you just have to remember, though, that he was swinging from a rope before he got in the hot tub.
He was swinging from a rope before he got in the hot tub.
Yep. So,
I mean, Look, I wanted to love Van Helsing, okay? Because Hugh Jackman was coming off of a big win being Wolverine, okay?
Absolutely.
And then they're like, oh, Universal movie monsters, and they're all in it. I'm like, awesome. And then everything turned fucking steampunk.
Yeah, I.
And why is Frankenstein always a sympathetic character?
Which one? Are you talking about the monster or the doctor?
The monster.
Oh, okay.
Because
you feel bad for him.
You do feel bad for him. And I actually felt bad for him in the original A Bride of Frankenstein because you realize he was all fucked up in the original Frankenstein because he just came back to life and his shit was actually, his neural pathways were still forming, and they explained that in the second movie.
Right.
Nobody ever explains that in the other ones. I'm like, have him go on a murderous rampage. But no, he's like got the soul of a poet and everything else. I mean, I'm like, give me a revenant that's going to go out there and start crushing heads and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't think it through.
No, and it seems like anytime there's a fucking vampire movie, there's got to be a werewolf in it. Unless it's billed as it.
Well, I mean, Underworld kind of did that.
Underworld did it to death.
And, to be fair,
the
Buffy did it
Buffy.
too. Because remember, they, what's his name from Robot Chicken?
Seth Green.
Yeah, Seth Green. He was
Well, yeah, but I mean, it was implied she was a slayer. She fought the forces of darkness, and it's going to come in head. Not that we're saying any of the werewolves out there listening. No, you guys are not all bad.
No, you guys are fine.
You guys
do what you got to do.
But these are all prime examples of where you could have launched like a shared universe off of. I know why the Dark Universe failed. It's just I'm just surprised that it did.
Well, I mean, the reason that the Dark Universe failed is because, and I guarantee that everybody listening to this is going to completely forget about that shitball mummy movie.
Yes.
It was, I mean, like I said, I can't even really critique it except for the fact that I was wide awake when I started watching it.
And you were out.
In the middle of the day. And I was so bored. I fell asleep. I started watching it at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. when I should be rejuvenated after I've gotten off of work.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, I was out by 5:22.
You didn't make a half an hour.
No, I don't think I did. Oh, you got to hit the cough button, Trev.
Cough button or cough knob. Nah, I would go cough button. I'm not touching that knob. But, that's our thoughts on the Dark Universe. Brilliant concept.
Brilliant concept, poorly executed.
And written.
Yes.
If your first outing, because we're going to compare.
They needed to make that movie a fucking masterpiece, and they made it a piece of shit.
You want to know why the MCU launched so well? And we're going to talk about this next week as well. Is because that first script for Iron Man was awesome.
Yeah.
The whole movie's narrative was great. It was just like a 101 on how to make a good fucking movie. Right. And they used a lesser-known property.
Hey, wait, but he's like the biggest star in the world now. But let's not get too far into that. We got next week for that.
We do have next week for that. So we love to leave you guys wanting more. This is a shorter episode because we didn't have much to talk about the Dark Universe. If you want to watch it, I'm sorry. If our talking prompted you to do so.
Don't buy it.
Don't buy it. If you guys want us to do a live stream while we drink heavily, just drop it in the comments, guys. Hit like. We'll do a live stream while watching that shit bird movie. If we fall asleep on the live stream, we're blaming you. And we want to thank everybody for listening. Hit the button, join the battery pack. Follow us on social media, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble.
I hear. Well, from what you said, we're huge on Rumble.
We're getting pretty big on Rumble because
it's Rumble.
It's Rumble. It's Rumble time. Rumblefish. You can find us on Spotify. Anything for Google Apps. We're also on Apple Podcasts. And we want to thank you for listening again. And you guys have a good one.
Hey, R.I.P. Nick.
Yeah.
Stay off the pipe. Don't forget to wipe.